I sigh, feeling a twinge of unease as I hear Kyle's muffled voice drifting from his home office. He's been taking more late-night calls lately, always closing the door for privacy. But tonight, something compels me to inch closer, pressing my ear against the wood. "I miss you too, babe," Kyle murmurs, his tone dripping with affection. My heart clenches. He never speaks to me like that anymore. "I'll see you tomorrow, usual time and place. Love you." The words pierce through me like icy daggers. Love? He's telling someone else he loves them? Bile rises in my throat as I stumble back from the door, my mind reeling. I've suspected something was off for a while now. The late nights at the office, the secretive phone calls, the way he's been distant and dismissive of my concerns, but hearing it with my own ears, the blatant evidence of his betrayal, shatters me. Tears blur my vision as I retreat to the kitchen, gripping the counter for support. How could he do this to me, to us? We've been through so much together, the struggle of infertility, the pain of multiple miscarriages. I thought our love could weather any storm, but apparently I was wrong. A bitter laugh escapes my lips. Of course he'd seek comfort in someone else's arms. Someone who isn't broken, who can give him the family he desires. The family I've failed to provide. I swipe at my tears angrily, a sudden determination burning through the haze of heartbreak. I won't let him get away with this. I won't be made a fool of in my own home. As if on cue, my phone chimes with a message. I glance down, surprised to see a name I haven't heard from in years, Jade, my estranged younger sister reaching out after a decade of silence. "Hey sis, been thinking about you. Can we talk?" I stare at the message, a flicker of hope sparking amidst the pain. Jade and I were once close, but life tore us apart. Our mother's death, our father's abuse, her running away as a teenager, it created a chasm between us that seemed insurmountable. But now in my darkest moment, she's here, a lifeline thrown into a sea of despair. My fingers tremble as I type out a response. "I'd love that. I really need my sister right now." Hitting send, I take a deep breath, squaring my shoulders. I may be broken, but I'm not defeated. With Jade by my side, I'll find a way to confront Kyle and uncover the truth. No more secrets, no more lies. It's time to face the ugly reality head-on and decide where to go from here. As painful as it may be, I know I deserve better than a husband who betrays me. I glance at the closed office door, imagining Kyle still whispering sweet nothings to his mistress. "Enjoy it while you can, dear husband. Your days of deception are numbered." The doorbell rings, jolting me out of my thoughts. I glance at the clock, realizing I've lost track of time, consumed by the revelation of Kyle's infidelity. With a heavy sigh, I make my way to the front door, not in the mood for any visitors. But when I open the door, my breath catches in my throat. Standing before me is Jade, my little sister, looking older and wearier than I remember, but still unmistakably her. "Maddie," she breathes, her eyes welling up with tears. "I'm so sorry for showing up unannounced, but I couldn't stay away any longer." Without hesitation, I pull her into a tight embrace, the years of estrangement melting away in an instant. "I'm glad you're here," I whisper, my own voice thick with emotion. We settle in the living room, a pot of tea steaming between us. Jade fidgets with her cup, her gaze darting around the room. "I know it's been a long time," she begins, her tone hesitant. "But I've missed you, Maddie. I've missed having my big sister in my life." I reach out, squeezing her hand. "I've missed you too, Jade, more than you know." She takes a deep breath as if steeling herself. I wanted to reach out sooner, but I was ashamed. Ashamed of running away, of leaving you to deal with Dad's abuse alone. I thought you'd hate me. Tears prick at my eyes. I could never hate you, Jade. We were just kids trying to survive. You did what you had to do. Jade nods, a flicker of relief crossing her face. "I'm married now," she reveals, a small smile tugging at her lips. "To a wonderful man named Alex. We have a little boy, too. His name is Liam." I feel a pang of envy mixed with joy. My sister has the family I've always longed for. That's amazing, Jade. I'm so happy for you. She studies me, her brow furrowing. "What about you, Maddie? Are you happy?" The question hangs heavy in the air, the weight of my marital troubles pressing down on me. I consider lying, putting on a brave face, but something about Jade's presence compels me to be honest. "Not really," I admit, my voice barely above a whisper. "Kyle, my husband, I think he's having an affair." Jade's eyes widen, a flash of anger sparking in their depths. "What? How do you know?" I recount the overheard phone call, the late nights, half the distance between us. As I speak, Jade's expression hardens, her jaw clenching. "That bastard," she seethes. "How dare he do this to you?" Her outrage on my behalf is strangely comforting, a reminder that I'm not alone in this. "I don't know what to do, Jade. I feel so lost." Jade leans forward, her gaze intense. "You need to gather evidence, Maddie. Catch him in the act. Don't let him get away with this." I nod, a flicker of determination igniting within me. "You're right. I can't just sit back and let him destroy our marriage." "I'll help you," Jade declares, her tone leaving no room for argument. "We'll make him pay for what he's done." As we sit there, plotting and scheming, I feel a sense of strength wash over me. With Jade by my side, I know I can face whatever lies ahead. We'll uncover the truth and make Kyle regret ever betraying me. The bond between sisters, once fractured, now mends itself with a shared purpose. United in our quest for justice, we'll show Kyle that he messed with the wrong family. Watch out, dear husband. Your secrets won't stay hidden for long. Jade and I spend the next few hours catching up, our conversation drifting between reminiscing about the past and strategizing for the future. As the sun begins to set, casting an orange glow through the windows, Jade leans back on the couch, her expression thoughtful. "You know, Maddie, I might have an idea of how we can gather evidence against Kyle," she muses, a mischievous glint in her eye. I raise an eyebrow, intrigued. "I'm listening." Jade smirks. "Hidden cameras and recorders. We can place them around the house, especially in his office. If he's having secret conversations or bringing his mistress over, we'll catch him red-handed." I hesitate, the thought of invading Kyle's privacy, even in light of his betrayal, making me uneasy. "Isn't that illegal?" Jade waves a dismissive hand. "Technically, yes, but we're not going to use it in court. We just need leverage, something to confront him with and make him squirm." I chew on my bottom lip, weighing the risks and rewards. The desire for revenge, for making Kyle pay for his infidelity, wins out over my moral qualms. "Okay, let's do it." Jade grins, a wicked gleam in her eyes. "Leave it to me. I'll get the equipment and help you set it up. Kyle won't know what hit him." Just then, the front door opens and Kyle strolls in, his tie loosened and his jacket slung over his shoulder. He stops short when he sees Jade, surprise flickering across his face. "Jade, is that you?" he asks, his tone a mix of curiosity and wariness. Jade stands, her posture stiff and her smile tight. "Hello, Kyle. Long time no see." Kyle glances between us, his brow furrowing. "What brings you here after all these years?" I interject before Jade can respond, not wanting to arouse suspicion. "Jade reached out, wanting to reconnect. We've just been catching up." Kyle nods slowly, but I can see the wheels turning in his head. "Well, it's nice to see you, Jade. If you'll excuse me, I've had a long day at the office. I'm going to take a shower." He disappears down the hallway, and Jade turns to me, her expression grim. "Did you see the way he looked at me? Like he was trying to figure out if I knew something." I nod, a knot forming in my stomach. He's always been good at reading people. We'll have to be careful. Jade gathers her things, preparing to leave. "Don't worry, Maddie. We'll get to the bottom of this. I'll be in touch about the cameras." After she leaves, I find Kyle in the bedroom, toweling off his hair. I take a deep breath, steeling myself for the conversation ahead. "Kyle, we need to talk," I begin, my voice trembling slightly. "I've noticed you've been distant lately, taking a lot of late nights at the office. Is everything okay?" Kyle freezes for a moment before forcing a smile. "Everything's fine, babe. Just been swamped with work. You know how it is." I study his face, searching for any hint of deceit. "Are you sure there's nothing else going on? You know you can talk to me." Kyle steps forward, cupping my face in his hands. "Madison, I promise, there's nothing to worry about. I love you, and only you." But even as he says the words, I catch a flicker of something in his eyes, guilt, perhaps, or fear of being caught. I nod, playing along, but inside my resolve hardens. I'll find out the truth, one way or another, and when I do, Kyle will regret ever betraying me. The game is on, dear husband, and this time, I'm playing to win. A few days later, Jade arrives at my doorstep, a nondescript bag slung over her shoulder. She greets me with a conspiratorial smile, her eyes gleaming with anticipation. "I've got the goods," she announces, patting the bag. "Let's get to work." We spend the next hour strategically placing hidden cameras and recorders throughout the house, focusing on Kyle's office and the living room. Jade's expertise in covert surveillance is both impressive and slightly unnerving. Where did you learn all this? I ask, watching as she deftly conceals a tiny camera inside a potted plant. Jade shrugs, a shadow crossing her face. Let's just say I've had to protect myself in the past. It pays to be prepared. I don't press further, sensing there's more to her story than she's letting on. We finish our task, and Jade hands me a small device, explaining how to access the footage remotely. Now, we wait, she says, a grim determination in her voice. Sooner or later, Kyle will slip up, and we'll have him. The next few days pass in a blur of anxiety and anticipation. I go about my daily routine, pretending everything is normal, while secretly monitoring the cameras whenever I have a moment alone. At first, there's nothing out of the ordinary, just Kyle working late, making phone calls, and browsing the internet. But then, on the fourth day, I strike gold. I'm sitting in my car, parked outside a client's house, when I decide to check the footage. My heart nearly stops when I see Kyle, in his office, locked in a passionate embrace with a woman who is definitely not me. They're kissing fervently, hands roaming, clothes disheveled. I feel like I'm going to be sick. With shaking hands, I dial Jade's number. She answers on the first ring, as if she's been waiting for my call. Maddie? What's wrong? I got him, I choke out, tears streaming down my face. Kyle? He's with her in our house? Jade is silent for a moment, and then I hear her take a deep breath. Okay, stay calm. We've got this. Me at your place in an hour. When I arrive home, Jade is already there, her face a mask of cold fury. She hugs me tightly, whispering words of comfort and encouragement. We're going to make him pay, Maddie, I promise you that. We retreat to the bedroom, where Jade pulls out her laptop and connects to the hidden cameras. The footage is damning. Kyle and his mistress, tangled together on the very couch where Jade and I had sat just days before. Who is she? I ask, my voice barely above a whisper. Jade zooms in on the woman's face, her eyes narrowing. Suddenly, she gasps, her hand flying to her mouth. Oh my God, Maddie, that's Tara, my husband's sister. I stare at her, uncomprehending. What? Jade's face is a mixture of shock and rage. Tara. She's married to my brother-in-law, Alex. I can't believe this. The revelation hits me like a punch to the gut. Not only is Kyle cheating on me, but he's doing it with my own sister-in-law. The betrayal is staggering. Jade grips my hand, her eyes blazing with a fierce determination. This changes everything, Maddie. We're not just going to confront Kyle, we're going to destroy him. I nod, a cold, hard resolve settling in my bones. Kyle and Tara have no idea what's coming for them. They say hell hath no fury like a woman scorned, but they've never met the wrath of two sisters united in their quest for vengeance. Watch your back, Kyle. Your reckoning is coming. Jade and I sit in stunned silence, the weight of our discovery hanging heavy in the air. My mind reels, trying to process the fact that my husband's mistress is none other than my own sister-in-law. I can't believe this, I whisper, my voice trembling with a mixture of rage and disbelief. How could they do this to us? Jade's jaw clenches, her eyes hard as flint. They're selfish, despicable human beings, Maddie, but we're not going to let them get away with it. She leans forward, her gaze intense. I have a plan. A way to make them pay for what they've done. I nod, a fierce determination rising within me. I'm listening. Jade outlines her scheme, that a cunning and ruthless plot that will leave Kyle and Tara reeling. She suggests using my expertise as a real estate agent to secretly transfer all of my assets into a trust under her name, effectively cutting Kyle off from any financial gain in the event of a divorce. He thinks he's so smart, so entitled, Jade seethes. Let's see how he likes it when he's left with nothing. I hesitate for a moment, the magnitude of what we're proposing sinking in. But then I think of all the lies, the betrayal, the heartache Kyle has caused. My resolve hardens. Let's do it, I say, my voice steady and cold. Let's make them regret the day they ever crossed us. We spend the next few weeks putting our plan into motion, carefully covering our tracks and gathering evidence. Jade proves to be a valuable ally, her street smarts and cunning complementing my own skills and resources. As the day of reckoning approaches, I feel a sense of calm wash over me. The pain and anger that once consumed me have been replaced by a steely determination to see justice served. Finally, the moment arrives. Jade and I stand outside Kyle and Tara's secret love nest, a nondescript apartment on the outskirts of town. We've timed our arrival perfectly, knowing they'll be caught in the act. With a nod to Jade, I unlock the door with the spare key I had secretly made. We step inside, the sound of our footsteps echoing in the silent apartment, and there they are, tangled together on the bed, their naked bodies intertwined. They spring apart at our intrusion, shock and fear etched across their faces. "Madison?" Kyle sputters, hastily grabbing a sheet to cover himself. "What the hell are you doing here?" I smile coldly, relishing the panic in his eyes. "Surprise, darling. Did you really think you could keep your little affair hidden forever?" Tara scrambles to dress, her face pale and stricken. "Jade, please, I can explain." Jade holds up a hand, silencing her. "Save it, Tara. We know everything, and we have proof." I toss a folder onto the bed, the damning evidence of their infidelity spilling out. Photos, recordings, financial records, all of it laid bare. Kyle's face contorts with rage. "You bitch!" he snarls, lunging towards me. "You think you can threaten me? I'll destroy you." But Jade is faster, stepping between us and shoving Kyle back. "Touch her, and I'll make sure you never see a dime of her money again." Kyle's eyes widen, confusion and fear replacing his anger. "What are you talking about?" I smile, a triumphant gleam in my eye. "Oh, didn't I mention? I've transferred all of my assets into a trust, one that you'll never be able to touch. Good luck starting over with nothing, my love." The color drains from Kyle's face as the realization of his own downfall sinks in. Tara collapses onto the bed, sobbing uncontrollably. Jade and I exchange a glance, a silent acknowledgement of our victory. We turn to leave, our heads held high. "This isn't over," Kyle calls after us, his voice laced with impotent rage. "You'll pay for this." I pause at the door, looking back at the man I once loved, now reduced to a pathetic, broken shell. "No, Kyle," I say softly. "You've already paid the price, and now you'll live with the consequences." With that, Jade and I walk out, leaving the wreckage of their betrayal behind. Our revenge is complete, and a new chapter begins. The confrontation with Kyle and Tara leaves me shaking with adrenaline, a heady mixture of triumph and residual anger coursing through my veins. Jade and I drive back to my house in silence, each lost in our own thoughts. As we step inside, Jade turns to me, her expression a mixture of concern and determination. "Are you okay, Maddie? I know that couldn't have been easy." I take a deep breath, trying to steady myself. "I'm fine." Better than fine, actually. Seeing the look on their faces, knowing we've won, it's a relief. Jade nods, a small smile playing at the corners of her mouth. "They got what they deserved, and now it's time to focus on your future." We settle in the living room, pouring ourselves a much-needed glass of wine. As we sip, Jade fills me in on the next steps of our plan. "I've already started the paperwork for the divorce," she explains. "With the evidence we have, Kyle won't stand a chance in court. He'll be lucky if he walks away with the clothes on his back." I nod, a grim satisfaction settling in my chest. "Good. I want him to feel the same pain and humiliation he's caused me." Jade leans forward, her eyes glinting with a mischievous light. "Oh, he will, and not just in the divorce. I've made some calls, pulled some strings. Let's just say Kyle's dirty little secret won't stay secret for long." I raise an eyebrow, intrigued. "What do you mean?" Jade smirks. "I have a friend at Kyle's company, someone who owes me a favor. By this time tomorrow, everyone in his office will know about his affair with Tara. His reputation will be in tatters." I feel a thrill of vindictive pleasure at the thought of Kyle's downfall. He deserves it. All of it. We spend the rest of the evening plotting and planning, mapping out the final stages of our revenge. As the wine flows and the laughter echoes through the house, I feel a sense of peace settle over me. For the first time in months, I'm not haunted by the specter of Kyle's betrayal. The next day, I wake to a flurry of texts and voicemails from Kyle. His tone ranges from pleading to threatening, begging me to reconsider the divorce, to give him another chance. I delete each message without a second thought. By noon, the news of Kyle's affair has spread like wildfire through his company. Jade's friend has come through, and the scandal is the talk of the office. I can only imagine the looks of disgust and pity Kyle must be facing from his colleagues. As the day wears on, I receive a call from Tara's husband, Alex. His voice is tight with anger and betrayal. "Madison, I just heard about Kyle and Tara. I'm so sorry, I had no idea." I take a deep breath, steeling myself. "I'm sorry too, Alex. No one deserves to be betrayed like this." There's a pause, and then Alex speaks again, his tone cold and determined. I'm filing for divorce. Tara won't get a dime from me, and I'll make sure she never sees our son again. I feel a pang of sympathy for Alex, knowing all too well the pain he's going through. I understand. You have to do what's best for you and your child. We exchange a few more words of support before hanging up. I lean back in my chair, a sense of exhaustion washing over me. The toll of the past few weeks is finally catching up, but there's a glimmer of hope on the horizon. With Kyle and Tara's lives in shambles, their reputations ruined, and their marriages destroyed, Jade and I can finally move on. We've lost so much, but we've gained something invaluable: each other. As I sit there, reflecting on the journey that brought us to this moment, I feel a sense of pride and gratitude. Pride in our strength, our resilience, and our unbreakable bond as sisters. And gratitude for the love and loyalty that has seen us through the darkest of times. Together, we'll rebuild our lives stronger and wiser than before. The future is ours, and nothing will stand in our way. In the days following the confrontation, Jade and I watch with grim satisfaction as Kyle and Tara's lives unravel before our eyes. The scandal at Kyle's company spreads like wildfire, and soon he's the pariah of the office, shunned by colleagues and clients alike. I receive a call from his boss, a man I've met a handful of times at corporate events. His tone is apologetic but firm. Madison, I'm sorry to have to tell you this, but we've had to let Kyle go. His behavior is unacceptable, and it's reflecting poorly on the company. We can't have someone like that representing us. I feign surprise, even as a thrill of victory runs through me. I understand. Thank you for letting me know. Jade and I celebrate that evening, toasting to Kyle's downfall with a bottle of expensive champagne. We've come so far, and the taste of revenge is sweet on my tongue. But our triumph is short-lived. The next day, I receive a summons from Kyle's lawyer. He's filing for divorce, and he's not going down without a fight. I meet with my own attorney, a shark in a designer suit that Jade helped me find. She assures me that we have an airtight case, that Kyle doesn't stand a chance. With the evidence you've gathered and the fact that you've already transferred your assets, he'll be lucky to walk away with a shred of dignity, she says, her red lips curving into a predatory smile. The divorce proceedings are ugly, a drawn-out battle of wills and egos. Kyle fights dirty, slinging mud and accusations, but in the end, he's no match for the combined force of Jade and me. The judge rules in my favor, granting me a generous settlement and leaving Kyle with nothing but the bitter taste of defeat. He storms out of the courtroom, his face twisted with rage and humiliation. Jade and I exchange a triumphant glance, our hands clasped tightly together. We've won, but the victory is bittersweet. The wounds of betrayal still ache, and the scars will take time to heal. In the aftermath of the divorce, I throw myself into my work, channeling my pain and anger into closing deals and making a name for myself in the cutthroat world of real estate. Jade is my rock, my constant source of support and encouragement. Months pass, and slowly the pieces of my life begin to fall back into place. I buy a new house, a sleek modern space that feels like a fresh start. Jade helps me decorate, filling the rooms with warmth and laughter. One evening, as we're sitting on the balcony, sipping wine and watching the sunset, Jade turns to me, her eyes shining with pride. You did it, Maddie. You survived. You thrived. I'm so proud of you. I feel tears prick at the corners of my eyes, overwhelmed by the love and gratitude I feel for my sister. I couldn't have done it without you, Jade. You saved me. She pulls me into a tight hug, her voice thick with emotion. We saved each other. That's what sisters do. As we sit there, wrapped in each other's arms, I feel a sense of peace wash over me. The past year has been a roller coaster of pain and betrayal, but it's also brought me closer to Jade than ever before. Our bond is unbreakable, forged in the fire of adversity. I know that there will be more challenges ahead, more obstacles to overcome. But with Jade by my side, I feel invincible. Together, we can weather any storm, face any foe. The sun dips below the horizon, painting the sky in shades of orange and pink. I take a deep breath, savoring the moment. The future stretches out before me, a blank canvas waiting to be filled with new dreams, new adventures, and I know, with absolute certainty, that no matter what lies ahead, Jade and I will face it together. Two sisters, united in love and strength, ready to take on the world. A year has passed since the divorce, and life has settled into a new normal. Jade and I have grown even closer, our bond strengthened by the trials we've faced together. We've become each other's confidants, cheerleaders, and partners in crime. But even as we move forward, the past has a way of lingering. One evening, as we're enjoying a quiet dinner at my new home, Jade's phone buzzes with an incoming message. She glances at the screen, her brow furrowing. "It's from Alex," she says, a hint of surprise in her voice. "He says he has some news about Kyle and Tara." I feel a flicker of curiosity mingled with apprehension. What does it say? Jade reads the message aloud, her eyes widening with each word. Apparently, Tara's been cut off from all of Alex's money. She's been trying to leech off Kyle, but he's broke and jobless. They've been evicted from their apartment and are living in a seedy motel on the outskirts of town. I let out a low whistle, a sense of grim satisfaction washing over me. Well, well, how the mighty have fallen. Jade sets down her phone, a smirk playing at the corners of her mouth. Looks like they're finally getting a taste of their own medicine. Karma's a bitch. We raise our glasses in a toast, savoring the moment. It's a small victory, but it feels like a fitting end to a painful chapter. As the evening wears on, Jade and I reminisce about the past year, marveling at how far we've come. We've both found success in our careers, but more importantly, we've found peace and happiness in each other's company. I never thought I'd say this, Jade admits, her voice soft and sincere. But I'm grateful for what happened. It brought us back together, Maddie. It made me realize how much I need you in my life. I feel tears prick at the corners of my eyes, overwhelmed by the love and gratitude I feel for my sister. I feel the same way, Jade. You've been my rock, my guiding light. I don't know what I would have done without you. We hug, holding each other tight. In that moment, I realize that the pain and heartache we've endured has only made us stronger, more resilient. We've emerged from the flames, tempered by adversity, ready to face whatever challenges lie ahead. The next morning, as I'm getting ready for work, my phone chimes with an incoming email. It's from Kyle, and the subject line makes my heart skip a beat. "Please, Madison, I need your help." I hesitate, my finger hovering over the delete button, but curiosity gets the better of me, and I open the message. Kyle's words are desperate, pleading. He's hit rock bottom, he says. He's lost everything, his job, his money, his reputation. He's begging for a second chance, a way out of the mess he's created. For a moment, I feel a flicker of pity. But then I remember the lies, the betrayal, the pain he's caused. My resolve hardens, and I hit reply, my fingers flying over the keyboard. "You made your bed, Kyle. Now you have to lie in it. I hope you and Tara are very happy together." I hit send, a sense of finality washing over me. It's the last time I'll ever communicate with Kyle, the last remnant of a life I've left behind. I take a deep breath, squaring my shoulders. The future stretches out before me, bright and full of promise. I have my career, my new home, and, most importantly, I have Jade. Together, we'll navigate the twists and turns of life, facing each challenge with the strength and resilience we've forged in the crucible of adversity. We are survivors, warriors, sisters united in an unbreakable bond. As I step out into the morning sun, I feel a sense of hope and excitement. The world is ours for the taking, and with Jade by my side, I know that anything is possible. The end.